Family's solicitor. Well, there's a man on the phone from Brighton, not particularly wanting to appear, I think, in person, but very unhappy with the way he's been dealt.
Yes, it would seem. It's entirely, though, down to his own doing. He's had access to justice all the way through this. The judgment itself could not be more fair and more balanced. He has always had the funds to obtain his own legal representation. He chose to act in person, which is entirely within his rights. Had been conducting his case in person since January this year and throughout numerous hearings through the summer and November, and chose not to turn up at the trial.
Now, it's a curious state of affairs because the law speaks out of both sides of his mouth on this matter. Right? On the one hand, he's not guilty of manslaughter. On the other, he's guilty of hiring somebody to go and kill his business partner.
Yes, it does seem a little confusing there, I'm sure. It does seem that the one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing, but the jury had been satisfied on the evidence that the Crown had presented at the original criminal trial of manslaughter. Due to technicalities within the law, he was able to slide through a loophole, and he walks today a free man.
Could he be retried?
He could if fresh evidence came to light. The evidence that was before.
Surely the fresh evidence is that a civil court judge has concluded from all the evidence he's seen he's guilty of doing it.
The evidence there was from the Crown Prosecution Service. We had a disclosure order against them for the documents that they had produced for the trial as well as for the retrial, which never got heard.
Now, it's clear from the Raja family that they have won. I mean, they've done very well. But on the other hand, it may only be a Pyrrhic victory. Will they actually get anything? We certainly hope so. We don't like to think of it as a Pyrrhic victory. There was an article in the Evening Standard just last week saying that he was worth $500 million. He doesn't have to be worth that much. We're not seeking as much as that. But there's no doubt it will be a long and difficult road. Eventually, yes. One other thing. I mean, what does it say to other people who want to use the civil law to remedy something that went wrong in the criminal law?
By all means, go ahead. It certainly is possible. It just doesn't happen that frequently because these sorts of circumstances don't occur so frequently. But the judgment itself is not unusual on the facts.
Patricia Hare, thank you very much indeed for coming in. You're watching Channel 4 News. Our main headlines tonight.